This episode of BlackListed Mx is brought to you by Slow Ride Garage. Make sure you check out their website at www.slowride.com. If you like this merch, what you see here, they got all this plus a lot more. Some of the tightest merch out there on the shelves right now, I must say. And it all looks good. It feels good. It's all good. So make sure you check out their website, the official sponsors of BlackListed Mx, and that is www.slowride.com. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Help spread the family of BlackListed Mx. I like to see it grow. I appreciate the subscribers who are tuning in and staying involved with the channel. Much respect, much love. But make sure you go check out slowride.com. We got another guest on the show. We got Mcelroy. How you doing today, Cal?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for coming on the show. I'll be honest with you. I don't know every amateur rider out there. I'm trying to get familiar with a lot of the amateur riders. Here in Canada, it's just me. There's tons of amateurs out there. We've been going back and forth. We got you on the show. I want to thank you for your time on coming on to the show, BlackListed Mx. But let's get to know you, man. How old are you and where exactly are you from?
I'm from Bellwood, Ontario, so that's just about 15 minutes north of Guelph.
Okay, so I take it you do all your riding back that way?
Yeah, we're kind of like perfect. We're about an hour 15-ish from like Moto Park, Gopher Dunes, Walton, Auburn, everything.
Oh shit! So you're in the cut right there. Then you got all those tracks local to you. You got plenty of tracks to ride, so it's plenty of ride time, man. What sparked your interest in motocross? Who threw you on the bike? How did motocross start for yourself?
It was definitely the old man. He raced pretty well from like my age and up, and then he got me on a bike as pretty well as soon as I could.
Okay. So what class do you race as of right now, and what series are you racing when you do race?
I'm racing junior in the AMO series.
Okay, yeah. So junior stack field, dude. I know you got quite a bit of competition in the junior class. Um, and with the junior class and you having a stacked field, who are some of the guys that you actually ride and race against? Who are some of your competition in that field?
Um, well, last time I raced, so like not the season that just passed, but the one before for junior, it was all like the moto community is all like buddies, right? So you pretty
Hmm.
all know them all. So it was all like Shelby Rempel, Jonathan Arsenio, Noah Larkin, all those guys. And then I was watched a couple races this year, and obviously Bobby Gravel and those guys came up, and they were doing pretty well. Yeah.
Those are some fast guys, man. I take it you got a little speed if those are guys you're racing and you're training with. And you said you didn't race all this year. I know you had a pretty nasty get off on the bike.
Yeah.
Take me through that accident, man. What took place and how long are you off the bike for?
Uh, so I was at Gopher the weekend before AMO started, the first AMO race, and they got their finish line jump there, and it's like kind of just like a smaller table, but you can hit it pretty fast type deal. So basically, I hit it and smoked a kicker, and the front end of the bike just dropped, and I tried to ride it out, and as soon as I like hit the G out of the landing, um, the bars went into my stomach and pushed my pancreas into my spine, severing my pancreas in half, and then
Wow.
broke a couple of vertebrae in my back.
And this extent of an injury, how long is this? How long is the recovery time for something like this?
Uh, they told me 8 to 10 months
How
recovery.
long? How long has it been?
Uh, I believe it like just about to be or is 6 months.
6 months. So you got a little bit of time left. Are you considering coming back after an injury like this? Because these injuries, man. Like injuries don't stop in the sport of motocross, whether it's you or somebody else. But I always talk about it because you know people look at injuries like it can happen to anybody. It can do it, you can be in a car wreck and get injured. But I think in motocross, you're pushing your limits a little bit more than you are sometimes in a car just driving down the street, right? So your chances may be a little bit higher than that. You can get hurt, but with an injury to that extent, what motivates you to even want to come back and ride again?
Uh, yeah, just because it's like sport that I love. Like I'm 100% getting back on a bike as soon as I can.
Hmm.
Uh, I've played all the other sports like hockey and lacrosse and all that stuff, and none of them just like made me as happy as this one does. Like it's got a motocross has got like a whole different vibe to it, like a lot more friendly.
Hmm. So if you weren't doing motocross, would you be doing lacrosse? What other sport
Uh,
would you actually be doing on a full time basis, just as you do motocross now?
Honestly, I don't know that I would be playing hockey or lacrosse still. Like the whole like conflict type deal and the coaches with the lacrosse and all that kind of ruined it for me. So I
Hmm.
got back into motocross, and it's like there's not as much conflict. It's like one person sport, right? Like
Hmm.
when you're racing against all your buddies, like it doesn't get much better than that. There's obviously conflict, but not as much, right? So,
Yeah, exactly. Are you a college student? Are you planning on going to school?
I do. I just had graduated high school last semester there or whatever you
Congrats. Yeah.
call it. So I plan to start an electrical apprenticeship, but I can't work as of right now, so that's kind
Hmm.
of at hold. But I'll get back into that as soon as I can, type deal.
Okay. You broke a couple vertebrae. Are you right? Are you walking now? What are you doing? How's your rehabilitation coming along?
Oh yeah, they were still lined up. The vertebrae that I broke, they were lined up, and the one was like the tiniest bit off or whatever, like by millimeters. But they said they all should heal up fine as they are. So I walked out of the hospital like a week after and everything, and I haven't really had back issues so far
Hmm.
that I know of.
Good.
Just like I have had a couple muscle wise, but nothing with like the bones. The pancreas deal kind of overrules everything else.
Hmm. Now, I know I keep dwelling on this injury, man, but I was reading a post of yours, and you said something, I believe, with your pancreas. There was two vessels or something in there that you could have torn or ripped, and you could have ended your life that way. Am I saying that
Yeah,
correctly?
yeah. So there's two main arteries or
Hmm.
vessels, whatever you call them, that run like right through your pancreas, the center.
Hmm.
And where I severed my pancreas, that's where the vessels are. And the one of them actually was like dented in a bit, is what they told me and my mom. But it's completely fine. Like will work fine and everything. But there was like scar tissue and a bit of dent in it. But apparently, if I was to like nick or sever, break any of those, you just bleed out right there type deal.
Mm, wow, man. If you can pick one person, professional or not, who motivates you to actually push you to become a better person in general and a better racer, who would that person be?
100% my dad.
Okay.
Like I learned everything. Well, obviously, like I've learned stuff off other people, but everything like the basics to everything I know on a dirt bike is basically taught to me by my dad.
Hmm. Wow. So your dad does all your support and all your he's your guy that goes with you to the races pretty much every time you race and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
your fondest memories are with him putting you on a bike.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
So your goal is to turn pro, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Uh, just cause like that's like the dream for everyone, and I'd like to just get there to like accomplish my goals. Like that's the goal at the end of the day. I'd think for like most motocrossers, like that's where you want to make it. So I feel that if I make it there, like that's like the accomplishment I'm looking for, and it's not like too far out of reach to make it there. You just gotta like work your butt off, right? So that's what I'm
Hmm.
trying to do before it gets too late and go from there.
Now, everybody who races pretty much has that goal of turning pro, and a lot of guys turn pro, a lot of guys don't. I was one of those guys who never made it to the pro ranks, but my heart was spilled into motocross as it is today. Um, as an amateur coming through the ranks, like your goal is to be pro, but when you get up to those ranks, you're gonna have more ambition, more plans, and more goals for yourself. But realistically, as a pro, only certain percentage of pros make it inside that top pro to be known, to be, be out there in the media content that they have and to be on those big teams. Are you prepared mentally for something like that if everything doesn't go your way as planned in turning pro in motocross?
Yeah, like basically, especially with this like injury and everything, you just kind of gotta figure out how to like play it as it goes, or like play it by ear. Just like take it one step at a time and go from there. And what happens, happens, right? Can't control too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the sport. It'll chew you up and spit you out, man, no matter what. We see it all the time, whether you're in the sport or out of the sport. Like, you'll hear from some guys and you won't hear from them, and some guys will be in the sport for a long time teaching and still grinding away. It's just a regurgitating cycle, that just keeps going. Um, you're a Canadian rider. Who sits inside your top three? Triple
Like,
Crown Series. Triple Crown Series pros.
hmm. I haven't thought about it actually.
Hmm.
But like who I think's gonna be top three, or am I like
No,
top three?
who's your top three in general in your eyes? Not who made the championships, not who won, just in general, like who sits in your top three.
Um, that's a tough one. Definitely. Well, I guess Dylan Wright went to the States and raced and whatnot, but he's definitely one. Like I'm at the track, and if he's racing, I'm watching 100%. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's cool to learn off of, especially at Walton. I went to Transcan like for a couple days this year. Couldn't race or nothing, obviously, but I was still went to watch.
Yeah.
And watching him's like that stuff's just crazy. Like he does it all right. Uh, Sam Gaynor's another one that I've he's local around me type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like where he's from, I always see before I got back into racing, I'd see him at Moto Park, and like he was the guy to watch at Moto Park. So definitely him. And then one of my buddies actually, Tanner Scott or TJ.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a big help. Like he's subtle about it, but he'll like give you like tips and stuff. And watching him too, you can learn a ton off him. It's crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm buddies with him, so it's even better, right?
When do you want to be back on the bike? And realistically, when are you going to be back riding?
Um, Realistically, I'd like to be back on the bike like for next upcoming season.
Mm-hmm.
But um, and if I was able to get better, that'd be totally achievable.
Yes.
I'm at the point where I'm like, uh, not like worried because like it's kind of been a long run, but like I'm eager to ride again. So I'm like kind of hoping I can be ready for that, but I honestly don't know if it's gonna happen.